greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you so much for joining me here again today on the live stream. I'm a little bit late. I mean, the chances of somebody noticing slim to none. I'm not gonna apologize anyway. Sorry. We're waiting. I'm sorry. I love you and I appreciate you sharing the space with me. I'm going to roll myself a little joint using my friend's grinder. I'm at Johan's place right now. Christian is on his own adventures, going to this little company getaway. And I told Johan that I wanted to come and stay with him basically on Sunday. And it worked out perfectly like this. We had a really good chat today. And one of the things that came up, one of the things we found limiting is just these rules of life. These rules that we find are just almost intrinsic to the way that society expects you to be. And because we consider them or perceive them as these rules, we hurt ourselves in our normal day-to-day lives. We imprison ourselves in our normal day-to-day lives, if you will. Thanks for posting. Please check out the transgressions. That's nice of you. Hey, Slag! Oh, thank you for your green heart, the heart of growth, the heart of compassion, the heart of, I want to say universal love, purple love, intuitive love, a love that comes from a place of understanding, and blue love, a vocal love, a love that is meant to communicate just the fact that there is love. Doesn't have to be any more than just that. At least that's the way that I interpret your little heart, Slag. Thank you for joining me, for sharing this space with me. I hope you friends are doing well. How was life been treating you? Has it been fair? Have you been limiting yourself because of the rules? What ideas have you been having? It's also something that me and Johan had a chat about today. Just about the power of ideas and how ideas technically aren't just ours. At least this is the way that I like to think about it. An idea can almost be seen as this entity of its own that has a will, has a want to be realized. And it will embody slash... what's the right word I'm looking for? Seek out, maybe, the right individual or the right frequency to give that idea to. A person that the idea might realize, or a person that the idea might think the person would be able to realize the idea. It's a little bit contrived, I know. Do bear with me. But the way I think about this, and the reason I'm thinking about this, is from this perspective of almost the lack of calm, the lack of peace, having an idea. Because it feels like a lot of the ideas that me and my friend are sharing with one another are a little bit out of reach at the moment. It's like these ideas are so vast and have so much potential, but our ability to implement them is so limited. And it feels like there is this tension of what if someone else realizes this idea before me because they have more opportunities, more resources to yada yada yada. I'm half awake, but always nice to see you. Oh, it's nice to see you as well, Slag. Half awake. Half awake. I want to say that I'm half awake with you right now, Slag. Is there a kiff in here? Ooh, there is. Double full drip kiff, it seems. How are you doing, Slag, other than being half awake? Are you okay? Has life been treating you well? Mars Pablo, the wise man of the weed grinder. Oh, you can't consider me wise? No. Dude, I don't know jack shit though. I don't know anything. That's the only thing that I do know, is that I don't know anything. I don't know how to grow a hand. I don't know how to grow hair. I don't know how to extract oxygen from air. I know how it works. I understand the chemistry behind it. But I don't know, dude. Oh goodness. Thank you though. I'm happy that you think even for a split second that I know anything. You flatter me. You probably know more than me, Mars. If you want to, if you'd be willing to, please do teach. Teach me what you've learned. Teach me what you've learned recently. I feel in repeating something you've learned in the last while, it also becomes a little bit more structured, a little bit more. What's the word I'm looking for? Consolidated. That's the right one. I'm gonna look for a pen. Do bear with me. Knowledge of ignorance is any day better than ignorance of ignorance. Naren, I completely agree, my friend. Hey, Marvin is here as well. Thank you for joining us, Marvin. Sending you so much love as well, my brother. Oh, I agree. I agree, Naren. And it's weird as well. Like, I constantly think about this Ram Dass saying, where he goes, you can either be the person that says nothing, that knows things, or you can be the person that says things, that doesn't know things. And finding ourselves in this position, I can't just sit here in silence. But I also don't have to pretend like I know everything. So it's trying to find that happy medium, balance in between knowing what I'm trying to talk about / trying to talk about things that I don't know. Back and forth, back and forth. But we can learn just from that back and forth. It can be like the watching of a tennis game. Back and forth. I'm gonna go and look for a pen. I'll be back in a second. I see you. Kira Burr, thank you for joining me, my friend. It's so nice to have you here. I'm coming. I hope it won't take me too long. Oh, didn't take me too long. Yay. Slag says, I'm doing a lot better. I took some pretty heavy hits in November, pretty much lost it. So I'm just trying to kind of get past the chaos at this point. It was pretty shitty, but life moves on. Slag, I'm here with you. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for being willing to share your turmoils with me. If you want to share any more, if you want to unload, if you will, we're here to listen to you as well. Completely in your hands. We love you, my friend. Kira, thank you for the love you're sending as well, for the peace. I appreciate you, my friend. I've learned that you never know what someone is going through. Light, wonderful. Try not to judge people. They may have just lost a relative, thought about killing themselves, been ill. Just try and focus on yourself and be as good as a person as possible. Beautifully put. Light, I couldn't put it better myself. I genuinely believe that is a kind of simple and yet fundamental rule to life. Like, if we genuinely start implementing those type of behaviors, where we accept one another, we encourage one another, we support one another fully without any vendetta, without any concern for our own personal involvement or benefit from a certain topic, the world's going to change. And I see it happening. Light, wonderful. I see it happening. I see more and more people, what's the word you used? Thinking, not to judge. Thinking about what other people are going through, seeing other people as individuals, seeing the dreams, seeing the hopes, seeing the family, seeing the understanding of the world, seeing the interpretation of themselves within it, seeing all of these things that are intrinsic to all of us as human beings, and it's something that makes us inseparable fundamentally. If we can see more of that within one another, see more of ourselves within one another, things will get better, and it's happening. I just believe we have to continue living by example. We can't force people into thinking this way or living in this way, but we can be ourselves to the point where maybe things change. Maybe. Who knows? What's our intention? Rules? Rebel? Maybe. I feel rebel is too hard. It's too far out the side. With rules, it's too hard on the other side. We have to meet them in the middle. These two sides of infinity, where will they meet? Freedom. Yeah. There we go. In the middle, of rules and rebel is the topic of freedom. Regulation. Marvin, I feel like that is also the opposite of freedom. Freedom is good too. Thank you, Marvin. I'm happy that you appreciate it at least. Regulation. You see, like, I'm imagining someone trying to regulate my freedom now. Be like, yes, we see that you spent exactly 2.22 freedom in the last 44 days. And this is unacceptable, sir. You have to limit your freedom spending so that there's enough freedom for everybody else. So how it works. Yeah, it is now. Love you, brother Estian. Here with Space Rocker Bear, enjoying the flower. Ooh, and sending you love. I'm going to enjoy some flower with you very soon. Thank you for joining me, Kira Burr and Space Rocker Bear. Love to you as well, my friend. Sending you so much love. Man, it's so nice being in a new environment again. Like having chats with Johan has been so blessed. It can feel sometimes like we're estranged, separate from friends, but it's usually all in our mind. And unfortunately, we're so powerful as human beings that if we believe ourselves to be estranged or believe ourselves to be incompatible in communication or apart from one another, then we'll literally manifest it. Like we'll try and communicate in a proper way, and we wouldn't be able to. We'll have a hard time in it. I feel it is up to the individual to regulate one's freedom. I agree completely, Marvin. Like in that case, you are smack dab on it. You know, because, and this is something we were talking about yesterday. You can realize a certain level of freedom within this reality, and you can use that freedom technically to go full ballistic and have no worldly responsibilities and use that freedom in that way. But the regulation of that freedom is going to allow you a little bit more clarity, calm within the situation. Susie, thank you for the good morning. Thank you for sharing this space with us. I appreciate you. Sending you so much love. How are you doing? Oh, you're fun. Love to you, my friend. She says, Kira Bourbon Space Rocker, slag and lovely friends. More the empathy we see in the world, the more we become one. This is a pretty background, right? It is. It is. I wanted to go and sit outside. There was these beautiful ranker. What do you call them? Those type of plants that grow up walls? Vines? Vines? Is it vines? We call them rankers in Afrikaans, which basically mean that they climb things. Climbers is what we call them. And my friend has this succulent climber, if you will, and it's literally climbing out on this rock wall, and it is gorgeous. And I wanted to sit in front of that for today's stream, but it wasn't in Wi-Fi range, so we're sitting here instead. But I believe this is so a nice one. I'm happy that you appreciate it. Thank you, Jovan, for sharing you with us as well. Yes, +1 for the background. Naran. Naren. Maybe that's the right way to say it. Is it Naran? Naren? Naren? Like, you haven't corrected me once. Like, I mean, maybe if I say it 10,000 different ways, you can feel like you're wearing different little masks. Ivy, vine, something like that. Yeah, something like that. But it's a succulent. That's the thing that's different about it. I've never seen a succulent that does that, actually. So I was like, I want a piece of this. I want to go and do the same at my farm. I love you. We love you, Kira Burb, so much. We call them creepers. There we go. Yeah, creepers is another one as well. So climbers, creepers, vines and ivies. I feel like maybe I don't have to feel too bad about not knowing. We're going to be rolling and then hopefully smoking the freedom joint. The freedom joint. Hopefully this freedom joint will set me free from the rules of this world. I just hear Christian telling me, be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. I'm not sure you want to be set free from the rules of this world. Because, if we're talking about, the rules of physics, if suddenly gravity doesn't apply to me and I just get yeeted onto this roof, turned into a paste, accelerated at 1,000 kilometers per hour. Wouldn't be that great. Kind of like the rule gravity for not getting squashed and things. So maybe not. Maybe not being set free from all the rules of the reality. Maybe be set free from the rules we've placed on consciousness and the way we're supposed to be perceiving our own consciousness. Yeah. Melt away those rules. I was going to say Creeper 2, but I thought that was something I named them myself. I'm just happy that I'm not the only one that was having a hard time. Like when I struggle with English words, I kind of like start beating on myself because I'm like, bro, you've been speaking English for, I have to do maths now as well, for 17 years. You don't have an excuse anymore. You need to speak English good. The best is this. There we go. Rules. Oh, rules. One of the things that we were discussing today is the fact that the reason, or maybe not the reason, the interpretation or the understanding behind why rules was the big thing is based on the society that is very limited when it comes to the information they have access to. And as a result of that, instead of trying to educate people, you just put rules in place instead of trying to educate them about this thing. So you create this entire culture where instead of people having to do some personal work, personal diving to find certain things for themselves, what they're comfortable with, we create these rule systems to deny people the ability to do those things. And then as a result of these rules as well, we create this entire potential guilt trap that we put ourselves in, if you will. And it's a little bit contrived. Just a little bit contrived. But how are we supposed to undo that? Even if you don't do that to your kids, the world is still probably going to. And I'm talking about everything from sexuality, religion, perception of self, value perception of self, value perception of the self as an experience bringer slash something that is supposed to just be the experience. Like we have so many rules. We have so many rules. And I feel more so than not that a lot of these rules are harmful. They separate us. And weirdly enough, a lot of us want to be separate. I mean, I'm saying we want to be separate, but I'm talking more specifically about our egos as an entity, as us. The ego wants to continue its existence, and its existence basically relies on the fact that it considers itself separate from the rest of it. Because I'm me. I'm not it, I'm just me. I'm just this little body. Don't you know? Don't you know? I'm just a body. I'm just poor little me. And it's okay to believe that as well. There's nothing wrong with it. But I feel if you want to believe that, you have to take responsibility for it. You have to be like, yes, I want to be small. I want to be poor little me. This is the existence, the experience that I want to have for myself. But then, unfortunately, by taking that mindset, you're going full circle and being it again, even though you're choosing to be nothing. We'll be back in a second. I'm gonna get an ashtray. I think this ashtray is made of concrete or something. But it's so light. Uncannily light. Might be hempcrete or something. Like maybe I should pose a question, you know, like of the stuff I'm talking about today. The question that I would ask you is what rules have you found have been taught to you slash society has imbued onto you, and how have you found that these rules have limited your experience of life slash created senses of guilt within you for experiencing life in a certain way? And have you tried to stop following these rules on a personal level? Have you considered these rules on a personal level like that? Maybe I'm asking too many questions. Are rules and social conditioning more or less the same in this context? I think so. I think that's the general thing I'm getting at right now, Naren. Oh, I missed a bunch. Good morning. Fantastic. Coffee is fantastic. You're fantastic, Susie. Thank you. I'm sorry for missing your messages. The fundamental American founding fathers tried to implement. Yeah. Hello from New York. Wow, day 335. I remember you from Red live stream. Sweet Emily. It's nice to have you here with me. Thank you, friend. Yeah, dude. 335 days. We've been going every day. Showing up, dude. Just showing up for something we believe in. Showing up for one another. Showing up for these type of conversations. Talking about rules. Technically, I've set myself the rule that I'm gonna do this every day. You know, it's a rule I chose, and technically, it's affecting my consciousness. It's becoming something that I'm mediating slash modulating my experience through, and it's a rule I've chosen. You know, and in that way, the rules we choose can empower us. But we have rules in this society that take our power away. That's the thing that concerns me. And then we don't question that because it's a rule. It's also a rule not to question the rules. It's a little bit of a trip. Give me some wisdom, hippie. I don't have anything to give you. Doombeard, you have everything. Literally everything within you already, man. If you want me to co-create with you in something, you know, I don't have any wisdom, but if you share something with me, maybe I can share my perspective. If it's a wise perspective, it's up for you to gauge. But you know, just thank you for sharing your space with us, man. Dan, better get here. It's day 300. Yeah, it's day 300 for Dan. Where is the man? I mean, wherever he is, I'm sure he's being a loving individual. Thank you for joining us. Again, Jovan, I appreciate you so much for being here. And I'm segueing into a toasty being here with us. I can't stop following the rules, even though I want to. The social systems are too ingrained at this point. I don't know. I know, toasty. That's the thing that bothers me. It's difficult, man. And I'm so thankful for you being willing to say that as well, and for bringing that to, I want to say, the table, you know, co-creating with me in that way. That's why I asked the question, because I feel sometimes alone in that struggle as well. Or it makes you feel particularly insane when the rest of the world thinks you're the one insane, you know, like, what are you doing? Follow the rules. No, I don't want to follow the rules. No, you need to follow the rules. Follow the fuck rules. Yo, toasty, so many rules, bro. And we're kids. Kids don't like rules. Kids don't like rules. Why do kids follow rules? Why did I follow the rules? That I didn't actually. I'm genuinely surprised sometimes thinking back on my life that I'm still alive. You know, some of the stuff I got up to as a 5-year-old, like we would. Oh goodness, I don't even know if I want to share the story. So you know those small alcohol bottles? We had this park area behind our house, kind of large. It was like there could have been another block of buildings in there. They would just have to put roads in, but there weren't any buildings built there yet. So it was just this overgrown area. We basically drove roads into this overgrown area with our pipe car. Literally a motorcycle engine on a bunch of pipes, and it has wheels, and you can drive that thing around. It was amazing. Drove our own little roads, and people would go there and like drink, and we would find these little bottles, and they would have these aluminium twisting caps. And me and my friends, as I think we were actually 5 years old, 5 or 6 years old, like the oldest. I moved away from that area when I was 7 years old, so the oldest that I could have been was 7. And we would fill these little bottles with water, and then we would make a fire over them. And then we would watch from a distance, and then that thing would explode, and it would send fire and pieces of wood and charcoal flying everywhere, and it was gorgeous. But it was insane. It was absolutely insane. What was wrong with me as a child? And I fucking loved it. I lived for that. It was, and my parents were losing their minds. They literally put me in a kindergarten just to keep me away from fire and explosives and shit like that, and to keep them sane, so they don't kill me from losing their minds. It was fun. It was so fun. But why do we do things like that? Why? I mean, I understand why rules are supposed to be there. Like sure, a rule: don't put pressurized, or don't put vessels that can potentially be pressurized with a liquid that is expanding when it's pressurized in something that will pressurize it. Rules. But me as a kid is like, you know what? I understand the rules, and I understand why the rules are in place. Because the rules mean if you follow the opposite of the rules, it means I get explosions. And then I do that anyway. And we do the same thing with life sometimes, and then we get explosions. We mess shit up sometimes. New York has legalized the marijuana finally. No more rules. I'm so happy to hear that, Sweet and Lee. It's about time. It's about time to just do the entire America. How are you the United States of America, and some states you go to jail for having weed? In some states you can buy weed at a store, and people are paying taxes, and schools are getting funded, and roads are getting built and repaired. It's like imagine an alien species comes to planet Earth and it's like, hey, what are your opinions on drug law? Oh, some countries fully legal, you can do whatever you want. Oh, that's pretty progressive. That's how we do it as well. Some countries, within the country, there are states. It's like, what states? Oh, mini separations within a larger unit. Oh, okay. And then these states lock you up if you have weed. Some of them. And some of them, you can go and buy weed at a store. Okay, now I'm imagining this alien's face just trying to process what I just told him. And him just being like, are humans stupid? And I'm like, yes, I am. Very much so. Please help us, aliens, please. Send us your help. Would you accept the help from aliens, friends, if aliens descended on us right now and it's like, sick, you guys are fucking up. This is how you're supposed to do it. I'd be like, please, teach me, show me the way. Maybe AI can do that as well. I'm genuinely curious about having philosophical conversations with artificial intelligent machines. It's gonna be a whole other trip. Give me some. Oh, order one. Definitely here. Hey, what are we talking about? We're talking about the rules. Our kingdom, Sinistry. We're talking about the rules. The rules that we kind of grow up with, the rules that society kind of expect us to follow. And I'm not just talking about creating explosives. I'm talking about rules around sexuality, rules around topics, rules around ego regulation / how you're supposed to be interpreting yourself and respecting other people's egos, rules of behavior, rules of consumption. Just rules, dude. Oh, there's so many fucking rules. Too many. It ain't no party without some good old swagger. At least, someone is mentioning swagger. You just have to throw in a Globama as well, and then we basically have Dan right here next to us. We'll summon him. I'm exhausted. I'm so tired of humanity in its current state. Me too. Toasty, and I'm young. Like I've only been exhausted and fed up, if you will, with the state of humanity to the point where it started influencing me or perturbing me, like personally, since the age of 13-ish, 14-ish. You know, that's when I started to realize shit was messed up. Which means I've only been at this for like 10 years. You have gang time on me, basically double the amount of time that you've experienced shit the way that it is. I feel you, dude. I cannot even imagine the amount of power you muster just to be the loving being that you are, and I respect you for that. Genuinely, brother. We got this, dude. You know, us being in the way that we are is the counter steer to humanity in the way that it is. At least that's the hope I'm giving myself right now, man. It sounds like the crazy stuff kids get up to, like dry ice bombs, exactly like that. I did those as well, unfortunately, those the dry ice bombs, chlorine bombs, actual fine. Well, I didn't make the actual fine aluminum bombs. I just made fine aluminum and then lit the aluminum on fire. Actual pipe bombs with gunpowder and extended detonators. There was something. There still is a little bit of something wrong with me. I don't do it anymore. It was juvenile. It was this. I want to say masculine attempt to influence, if you will. You know, oh, big boom, oh, make sound, oh, makes hole in something, oh, creates visceral, exhilarating experience. You know, but it's so instant, it's so final. You know, in the way that the masculine nature can be as well. Like the masculine nature is to try to get to a point. You know, the reason you're talking about something is because you want to get to a point. Na 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 na. Done. But the feminine way of doing things is na 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 na. And it keeps going. It just doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. So maybe that's what it was. Maybe I had to find that I don't necessarily appreciate the pointed finality nature of those experiences to be where it is I am right now. Or maybe I'm pulling nothing out of nothing. Some rules are nothing but old habits that people are afraid to change. Ooh, that's something worth saying. Oh man, I don't have my book with me. I left it at Christian's place. Some rules are nothing but old habits that people are afraid to change. How beautiful of a saying is that, Marin? Thank you for gracing us with that, my friend. I appreciate that. To be fair, rules may actually help keep stupid people in check, not the ones of intelligence and consciousness. That is right. Yes, humans very stupid. You see, the thing is, the duality slash cognitive dissonance that is associated with that, you know, the fact that certain rules keep stupid people in check and how that is a good thing. I consider myself one of those stupid people, but I also choose not to follow the rules. And that's maybe that is what it is. Maybe that's what consciousness or intelligence allows you. It allows you to notice the rules, why the rules are in place, weighing your options, and still maybe choosing to not necessarily follow the rules, even though it's what is expected of you. Or like that's it. That if anything. So what's gonna happen after day 365? You will continue streaming live or not? I'm going to continue indefinitely, sweet. At least that's the intention I've set into this universe. You know, it's very important to me. It's the most important thing to me to have time with friends and family. Be able to spend time in a way that you're connecting, communicating, working through stuff, you know, and allowing yourself to be in a space that you know there's no judgment. And unfortunately, it's not reasonable for me to expect that in my physical reality. I can't expect a friend always to be there for me to have a conversation with. I can't expect any of that, you know, but I can expect that of myself. So I've set that expectation, if you will. Thank you for asking, my friend. I hope that you continue joining us as well, sweet. To be fair, my world's so small lately. How was the state of humanity? Love you, friend. Hug emoji. Thank you so much. We love you too, Jovan. We love you so much, my friend. I've also been keeping my head down. My world has also been very small. And yet, I'm realizing that there is an infinite amount of experience to be had within this small reality as well. Hey, it's Salty Malalty, Milk More for Senator of Earth. Yeah. You know what? Usually I'd be like, oh no, stop it, Salty. But now, Senator is like someone that communicates, right? Like, I don't want any power. I just want to communicate. And just be like, yeah, away, aliens. I represent Earth. I brought mad joints. Joints? You don't know what joints are? Well, it's THC. And like, oh, you want to analyze it? Fine. Take the piece of joint, cuts a little piece off, analyzes it. They're like, oh, it's compatible with our genetics. Won't murder us. Thank you for checking. And then me and the aliens will smoke joints together. We'll set up peace treaties. We'll have all of the trade. We'll give them art. They'll give us technology. Cheers. Yee! Come aliens, please. Please. Just accept me into the inner ring already. mm. I love you, Toasty, dude. I love you so much, my brother. I feel you, man. I feel you. Thank you so much for being willing to share with me. Ooh, no, I'll call you Judd. Is South Africa more racist now than back in the 90s? I don't really think so, actually. In my entire experience, and every single one of my friends' experiences as well, we haven't had one racist encounter. The older generations, but like since we're the youth, if you will, we grew up past the apartheid era. We haven't had any racism towards one another. In social situations and social interactions, there is a genuine understanding of one another as well. If there is a lot of drinking involved, people fight one another, but it's not a race thing. It's just people being, drunk, if you will. So in that way, you'll see some things, but in a genuine, sober, conscious interaction with this environment, South Africa isn't that racist at all, actually. I mean, it's kind of hectic when it comes to jobs. In that way, it's a little bit racist, because we have these things called BEE, Black Economic Empowerment, which basically expects you, for instance, if you're a contractor for like services and you're going to work for the government, you cannot apply for a tender or for a contract business with the government if 50% of your company isn't owned by a black individual, an African individual. Like literally, it's impossible for you to get that contract. So in that way, there's a lot of corruption happening as well that can be seen as racist, but otherwise, on a social level, when it comes to human communication and connection, not so much at all. I've had the Mr. Rogers theme stuck in my head for 3 days. I'm having a hard time sleeping because of it. I'm losing my mind. So Toasty, this might sound counterintuitive, but the best way to fix that is to actually go and Google the Mr. Rogers theme song and to listen to it over and over again so that your brain can, or maybe just listen to it once from start to finish so your brain can get that completion. So what happens with songs as well is we get a song in our head and it stays, looping in our head, maybe just the chorus, because we're not getting the satisfaction of the completion of the entire song. So listening to the song can help. I hope so, I don't know, maybe. Sometimes you sound like you're preaching in church. You can be a pastor. Thank you so much, sweet. My dad would flip over, do triple backflip out of happiness if he heard you saying that. I actually joked with my friend the other day. I mentioned to him maybe I should go and study to be a pastor. maybe. If anything, it will just educate me more as to how things have been done and how they should be done instead. I feel that a lot of these religious systems kind of prey on people. They're these hope generating systems that expect you to feel guilt and fear, and as a result of your guilt and fear, you have to come and keep renewing your hope and faith. So it's this back and forth that they kind of coax you into, and in that way, I don't want to be any of that. uh, uh, we're friends, sharing space, communicating about things that we value. Thank you, though. I genuinely appreciate it. If anything, it means to me that at least the messages I try to share are of, what's the word, everlasting significance. You know, if I'm gonna talk like a pastor. Ooh, golden trunks. Ooh, it's been your what? No. Yeah, 5 months or something? The importance of a rule can generally be measured by the severity of the consequences once it is broken, social, legal, or otherwise. You see golden trunks coming in swinging, like just batting me like an absolute machine. What a good point that is. What a good point that is. The importance of a rule can generally be measured by the severity of the consequences once it is broken. You know, like the thing I'm feeling is this third side to it, that is the perception of guilt slash perception of I am a horrible person or I am doing something wrong alongside the rules. Because even though there might be no consequences with the rules, you breaking the rules has this sense of guilt attached to it that now creates this imbalance of the experience. So even though there might be no consequence, yes. I hope you can see that. Okay. Alright. I wanted to say, like, even though there might be no consequence, you might create a sense of guilt or a sense of lack of inside of yourself in that experience and rob yourself of the potential to experience that experience more fully. Ghosts aren't real, oh. It's just a fuse problem. Is it SEV? One. Beep, 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 beep. No, that's not SOS. There's no long ones. That's a long one. I'm reading into this too much. I'm gonna stop. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have often altered the way I act in public because I felt I had to behave in a certain way. These rules carry an element of control or sanction, which can invoke feelings of guilt or inferiority if the social norms are not met. There we go, Naren. But you're so wise as well, my friend. Perfectly put. Like that's what I was trying to get at as well, and you like worded it so perfectly. It's a trip, man. It's so weird, you know. And I feel we do it somewhat in self-preservation. Like even though it creates this feeling of insuperiority, it's like we're afraid, you know, of being our true selves and having that part of us attacked or having that part of us seen as crazy, if you will. So we hide things. We pretend to be less than we actually are to balance things out. But it creates in the moment this sense of inferiority. And I feel it can. I'm not saying it absolutely has to, because in my personal experience, I limit a lot of the things I share and the things I'm willing to talk about when it comes to, I want to say, average everyday encounters or encounters with my family, for example. I'm following a set of rules of my own to not intimidate or scare another person, for example. I am from India. Everything you do or don't is judged here more than the developed nations. Like people literally will just stare, right, Naren? Like they will just watch you. You know, if they feel watching you is something worth watching, then that should be seen as an honor. Maybe like I'm saying these things because I want you to correct me if I'm wrong. Like it's seen as something that's part of the. There's a big ass rat that just ran past us. Like it's seen as this social norm, or it's accepted as a social norm to be able to stare at someone and, I mean, potentially judge them. Maybe it doesn't have to be a judgment. It can be an admiring of, but you know, and then you were splitting hairs technically. Hey, it's Heather. Hi. I may have caught the end, but I wanted to send love and a butterfly. Thank you so much, Heather. Sending you love back, my friend. I think we might go on for a little bit longer. Do you have any art, paintings, or pictures of those white walls in your house? Do you have any art, paintings, or pictures on those white walls in your house? Technically, this isn't the apartment I've been staying in. This is an apartment of a friend's. I mean, there's a mirror that has a little bit of a interlace of bamboo. There's an interlaced bamboo light stand. There's a twine thing, you know, threaded back there. Let me show you. Like, I don't really want to lift my stand up because I'm doing a balancing act every time. But you know, there's stuff like this. And so I mean, it's artsy enough. Huh? Dead things, yes. Fake prance. Christian's place has some of his, you know, own personal artworks, and he has some poems up. But in the room I stay in, the one I usually stream in, there's nothing on the white walls. In my room, my personal room, I have a big ass painting, and I have this. Technically, I have 4 framed butterflies. It's a little bit morbid now that I think about it, but they're beautiful, and I love them. And they basically sleep above my head. I think of them as my little guardian angels. Hey Heather, hey Jovan. Sending so much love. My sister, I have so much to audio you. To audio you. I've never heard that before, actually. I love it. Lol, what? The light. The light, dude. The light, yeah, I mean, it's just like ghost vibes. It's not doing it anymore. What is that, Melty? It was just the ghosts. Just the ghosts. We were talking about consequences. And then I started tripping myself out. You know, the ghosts are gonna come for me. Oh, what are you doing? I'm having chats, the best of chats, Candace. How are you? How are the kids? How's Teddy? It's so nice to have you here. I'm so obsessed with my art. I have it hanging everywhere in my home. That sounds amazing, Marvin. You know, the celebration of self. I completely respect and admire that, my friend. If you'd be willing to share any of the art you have in the Discord, we would be more than willing to see and look at it. Comment. Love you for it. Please, friend. Johanna's style, pretty place. Alright? It is a pretty place. Technically, his sister is studying interior design, and his stepmom is also artsy like that. So, I don't know if Johan is the one that has style. I mean, Johan has style as well, but Johan's style isn't the thing that directly influenced the way things look. Let me just say that. I'm here with my ear. I'm taking my new pieces to the coffee shop today and selling 2. That sounds amazing, Candace. Like I'm really like I feel like there's this big ass gap of Candace's art in my consciousness that I no longer get to see. I missed you, my friend. We all do. We love you so much. Thank you for being willing to share this time with us. Oh, it's Nelson the Meltson coming in and dropping some all-seeing upvotes, sharing some love with us. How are you doing, my brother? It's so nice to have you here. Sorry, I'm caught up on sleep. I can get, if I'm not caught up on sleep, when I'm caught up on sleep, I can get silly. You're silly when you're caught up on sleep. That is a change of pace, actually, Heather. I find myself at my weirdest / most hilarious just before going to sleep, where I feel like an insane person. Email me. I'll give you guys my number so I can share the paintings. It's okay. It's really okay, Candace. I don't want to make any more work for you. You're a love friend. I just want you to know that we miss you and we think about you, and that your presence is genuinely missed. Just love. Just, yeah. No, love is true. That's okay. Love is true. Love is true. Just dropping some love, my friend. Can't stay. It's completely chill. Have a good one. Have a good one, Nelson. Mm, uh, I knew I smelled the gin. And dry story, yeah. It's so nice to have you here, dude. So nice. Thank you for joining us, man. How's Omicron? Omicron. Omicron. I'm guessing you're making a joke of I look like someone, and the someone I look like as a friend or is a character in a universe where there is someone that has an Omicron. Maybe? G-Shot? You're throwing me for a loop, dude. I'm not exactly sure, man. I'm here chilling with you, bro. Peace, love, and happiness. What's the topic for tomorrow? CT Nandes. Now you're asking questions that only future me can know. I tend, I tend to try and find the topic within the day. You know, instead of being too proactive, I'll spend the day, being in an open state of consciousness and awareness, and then I'll try and learn from that day whatever comes to me, my state of consciousness, and then it will influence what we choose to share, what we choose to talk about in these streams. So you'll have to come tomorrow and find out. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Hit the bell notification, subscribe, hit the like button, follow the. Not cool, cheat shot. I don't even know what it means. Heather, educate me, please. It's lovely in a meatloaf sandwich. I'm like, now I'm confused. Damn right. There we go. Dan is joining us. I'm waiting, dude. I'm gonna be extra vigilant. Make sure I don't get bamboozled by a Globama comment. Melt, yes, you're right about the staring in India. These stares pierce through your existence. Women find it harder. I can only imagine, dude. It's a little bit unfair, man. Man, like I can imagine myself being stared at as a man, like personally being stared in India, and I can see myself being okay with it. You know, I mean, like, oh well, this is the way that it is. But if you feel in general society you're being stared as a woman in a way that is like objectifying, and then you have literal groups of people staring at you. Like there was this one woman that posted this video of her being on the beach or laying next to a river or something, and there was literally a wall right around her of dudes just standing and staring at her, just like straight up. Hours, minutes, seconds, painful, all the same. Goodness. Please, please, please stop piercing through my existence in your words, Naren. Omicron is the news. In the news is the very new strand of COVID virus. They're saying it's coming from SA. It's not coming from SA. A South African scientist discovered it and reported it. Apparently, this other strain has been present in a bunch of other countries by now. Omicron is the new COVID strain. You got us, G-Shot. I mean, I'm not too offended. Thank you. We appreciate your love. I have heard that people overseas at least smile, if not great, if not greet, when there's eye contact. Here, they invite an onlooker to ogle. Oh man, it's difficult, dude. I guess again, we're talking about rules today. The day's entire message was rules. Technically, on that societal level, that rule doesn't exist. And I understand in a way why. Because, and this is like my interpretation of this, I'm not saying this is the way that the Indians perceive the Indians. The Indian culture perceives it. This is the way that I'm perceiving it. Like from what I've heard within the Hindu understanding of gods and divinity, every single person can be seen as that divine essence. And as a result of that, if you choose to stare at another person, you are choosing to use your divine essence to worship their divine essence. And on a cultural level, if you understand the rules in that way, it makes sense, or you can understand why staring wouldn't be seen as such a big thing. But in a Western society, where you're expected to think less of yourself, this materialistic slash matter understanding of our consciousness is that our, brain goop is firing neurons, and because of those neurons, everything that we think we are exists. I think of our brains as more as an antenna, on a side note, to consciousness, and we are just basically these nodes to experience it through. It's this reductionist understanding. You're not everything, you're this little nothing, versus the Hindu understanding of the divinity of individuals is more, if you realize you're everything and you come out and you tell it to people, they're like, oh, congratulations, you figured it out, you did it, well done, now sit down and eat something with us. Or sweep the floor. Because it doesn't mean that you now, everybody has to drop down there and needs to start worshiping you. It means that you need to, throughout your life, worship everyone else. You don't have to do that in like a, cook for someone, have a conversation with someone, smoke a joint with someone, smile at someone, do an act of kindness, clean something for someone. You can worship someone in an infinite amount of ways. Worship your existence, worship your life in a way that you would worship an actual deity if it was placed right in front of you. Because it is. Loops all the way through, yo. So many loops. Staring in such a way reminds me of tantric stuff. That's interesting, actually, Heather. I make a lot of friendly, smiley eye contact, but how is it perceived? How is perceived is out of my control. I agree completely, and I think there has to be balance, Jovan. I think that's the real thing. If you make eye contact and you smile at someone as you're going by, or in a shop, or like on the road or whatever, in that way it can be seen as a beautiful gesture. But if you're just stationary, if both of us are stationary and you're choosing to be stationary so you can use your stationary action with the intent of staring straight at me, then there are these extra interpretations slash attachments to the eye contact that we're making. It's no longer just a friendly, I acknowledge you, I see you, I love you. It's a, I love you. I fucking love you so much. Oh, I'm gonna stop loving you. And then it's like, whoa, relax. I love you too, but if we look once, we notice. If twice, curious. If three times, interested. But the one long stare, rude curiosity. Not my rules, just saying. I feel it. I feel it, Heather. I'm sharing this with you. Dwarf, it's been forever. Thank you for joining us, my friend. How have you been? How's life been? The Hindus in India only follow the rituals now. The essence is long forgotten. So these stares are because the expected rules are not followed, be it dressing, an action, or anything. I'm not trash talking my country. It's just the sad reality. No, Naren, you're not trash talking anything, my friend. You're sharing your perspective, your experience, your interpretation of of reality, dude. And that's exactly why we're here. You have nothing to apologize about. Thank you. Like, genuinely, thank you for being willing to share. Like, this is, again, there are these biases that I hold, that I feel, that I think about, and it shapes my reality. But it can be very biased. And being able to share these moments with one another allows that biased nature to be a little bit less biased, if you will. It's hard to stay biased when there's more than one person talking. Thank you for helpful. I appreciate you, Dwarf. Ugh! It would freak me out if someone said they love me. I love you, Dwarf. I love you, my friend. You are loved. Why would it freak you out? Like, it's not something that should freak you out. I mean, you get to do whatever you want to. But I want you to be willing to accept someone loving you. You're worthy of that. I love you, Dwarf. And you're like, oh, Mel, vlieg in je moeder nou, je weet gewoon niet praat nie. That basically means, it's like, it's a less rude version of fuck off and die. In Afrikaans. You don't love me, you don't know me. But the reason I can say with a genuine sense of peace and like it's the truth that I love you is because I believe that all I am is the I that we are, and fundamentally that means the I, the awareness, the interpretation of consciousness that I have watching externally is the exact same for you. The exact same thing for every single other being. Every single other being. And realizing that and respecting that and loving yourself, that state of yourself, means that you love that state of other selves as well. Meaning that I fucking love you. Can't run away, dwarf. You're loved, my friend. You're loved. Not good. Hopefully it will get better. Yes, it will. It will get better. It will. I have spoken a lot today. I'm going to be lurking now. Naren, you have been a divine co-creator. Like, that's genuinely the way I see you, man. Not, you haven't spoken, you have co-created. I mean, same thing. Same, but different. It's still same. My bias is that you look like a hippie Jon Snow. Anyone else see it? I love Jon Snow and I see it. Oh, Jesse and Salt. Love you friends as well. I've had that maybe like once before or something. A good old Kit Harington. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you pattern recognizing as well with me, friends. You might be onto something. You think, Thirsty? Man, these people are getting clever, dude. Pattern recognizing is getting better and better. What's up, friends? Hey, it's Gob, and it's insane tuning in at the same time. It's so nice having you, beloved brothers. How are you doing? How are you doing, Gob? How are you doing? It's insane. Did you stream while I was streaming? Did you end earlier? You know, I know that these days I see you streaming as I start streaming, and then by the time I'm finished streaming, you're still streaming. And I'm like, yeah, flex insane. Like you're actually being physically active as well, you know, going through the motions and still streaming longer. And I'm like, okay, it's insane. God. Relax, take a break. You take a 7th day for yourself. It's insane. It's so nice when you chat. It really is, Javan. I agree completely. Like, Naren, you're so wise, my friend. It's genuinely a pleasure having you chat with us. Jon Snow's grow this way out of the top of his head. I know nothing. You know, like the weirdest part, the worst part, is that because of this Kit Harington look-alike thing I have, and knowing I know nothing, and being completely vocal about my knowing nothing in my social groups as well, I get told I know nothing all the time. And I feel like it's just the universe being a jester, being like, you think you know, huh? No. I'm gonna not only let you tell yourself that you don't know not anything, you know nothing, I'm gonna make sure that a bunch of other people also tell you that you know nothing. I'm like, okay, fine. This Jon Snow knows more than nothing. Just a little bit, just like, if nothing is here, I'm like covering the layer of nothing. Just like a little glue. But yes, I've heard Jon Snow, Heath Ledger, and some other. Jon Snow, Heath Ledger, Chris Pratt, Chris Hemsworth. Kenny G, we've had as well. We said Heath Ledger, right? Did we? I think so, maybe. Chris Pontius as well. Maybe that's all of them. You know, combined into one big goop, melted together, if you will. Made me, if you will. You know, basically just human DNA. We all have eyes and a nose and a mouth. We have hair, fingers and hands. We're the same human beings. Drinking water to stay hydrated because we're 70% water. Hey homies, Papa and Gob and Simon, where do you live? Are you from? Trying to place the accent. I live / are from South Africa. Whew. It's a wonderful country, but it's so wrecked. Hopefully it'll get better. Little by little, it'll get better. I'm genuinely hopeful. You know, things are getting better. They're taking a lot of time to. And I mean, things are just hectic everywhere. For now. I feel like there is actively something happening right now in the world. We don't expect much. We just want to live, you know. Is that too much to expect? Can I live, please? Can I just live? You know? I want to live. Why do you deserve to live? What? I don't know. Am I supposed to deserve to live? This fucking world sometimes, man. Nordic? No, South African friend. Thank you though, Jesse. Good morning, afternoon, night slash evening. Thank you for the love you share to every single corner of the world. There's no corners on the world, but you know what I'm saying. Hey Jovan, morning, Salt. It's nice to have you. I'm still streaming. Is there a streamception happening here right now? Is that what's happening, Insane? Well, love to use Insane friends as well. If you can, upvote Insane stream right now. You know, give him 17 billion rewards. Make him stream for all of eternity. Give him so much stream time that at the heat death of the universe, he would still have to be streaming. He would have to Dyson sphere all of the black holes that's remaining within the heat death of the universe just to continue and finish the stream time. I'm pushing it a little bit now, I'm sorry. It would be more prominent if you dyed your hair black, lol. It would. My hair, like especially right now, looks red-esque. But it's light brown. I'm okay with my hair as it is. You know, I wanted to bleach it and dye it again, but it's so bad for your hair that I was like, nah. I have 3 viewers and nobody chats to me, so full attention here. It's insane. You are loved, though. I'm chatting to you directly right now, man. How have you been, dude? How have you been? Like, we have to have another coaching call. Like, Yessi, apparently, I'm gonna be staying up until Christmas here, and then maybe for a little bit longer. Like, I was like, oh, we're just gonna go for November, and now November is over. And my friends are like, well, we had we had first breakfast. What about second breakfast? That's like what's going on right now. I'm like, man, what about second breakfast? What about second month in Pretoria? So maybe we're gonna be here for a little bit longer, friends. Longer than expected, longer than planned. But I'm looking forward to co-creating and co-communicating with you friends nonetheless. Read a book, because all books are facts. Sorry, yeah. All books and the entire internet, especially Facebook, is purely factual information that you do not have to do a shred of insight into. You just believe everything you see. Yep. Especially satire, in fact. Modest proposal, for example. Eat Irish babies. What? Salt department, you lost me so quick. Especially satire, in fact. And I was like, yeah, I feel that. I'm vibing with salt department. And then he goes to a modest proposal, for example. Eat Irish babies. Irish babies. Like, unfortunately, thank you. I mean, Nelson is not here right now, but I'm gonna thank him like nonetheless. When I picture an Irish baby right now, I see Nelson's face over a baby. You know, big old mustache, his little beardy bits, long ass hair, and he's cursing profusely. This baby. I can't eat that baby, man. It's too much like my friend. Who is the smart person you're speaking of? Who is the smart person, man? Who is the smartest person that I know? Like, the first person that comes into mind to my mind is Christian. Maybe actually my brother. Maybe Vessel. Like, Vessel, my youngest brother. He's very intelligent. But unfortunately, not very much so emotionally. So I genuinely, like, no jokes, I've been training him how to be more socially intelligent. You're trying to increase his EQ, and he's willing to. He's actually a good student. I'm genuinely happy about that. Boop, boop. I'm a robot. It's a copy. A modest proposal. Oh, it's a bot thing. It makes a little more sense. That's because Insane is boring. That's me now. Specific Yossi. Yossi's Insane. Yo, Sage, bruh. Yes, this guy has no mercy. You know, it's Insane on his knees, confessing his vulnerability to us, showing the nape of his neck. And I'm like, yes, arise, beloved brother, stand here with us. Fear not. Dread not. A specific kick comes in with the side of the spear, stabs you through the ribs, though. It's insane, it's boring. Fuck. Yes, specific kick, relax. Thank you for voting on that floor. Thank you, friend. Sage, Yo's insane is the bomb.com, yo. Exactly, yeah. That's insane is. He's the best. You know, like you cannot help but smile listening to that dude. Oh, and yes, you have been pronouncing my name right. Narain. Or Ryan. Right. Narayan. Narayan. Ooh, Narayan. I like that actually. Narayan. But I'll respond to anything. What's in a name? What's in a name? Yeah, you're right, Narayan. 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 Re. Now my brain is like, the cognitive dissonance. Do you want to call him Narayan or Narain? Narain feels more feminine, and you are gorgeous. So maybe I want to use that one. Narain it is. You got a slinky right now. Huh? You're missing me, Jovan. Oh, it's insane. It's got a slinky right now. That sounds sick. South Africa. Wow, I know the locals are threatening the white plantain owners. Do you experience hostility for being white in South Africa? Again, friend, not in normal social interactions, but when it comes to those extremes where people want to actually come and take your farmland, everything you've worked for, everything that takes care of your family, that stuff does happen here in South Africa. But that stuff is largely, I want to say, almost ignored or swept under the rug when it comes to general society. Like people don't really want to talk about that stuff or pretend it doesn't exist. And in a way, it's a good thing, because if that kind of baggage had to be brought to every single social interaction with someone that is not of the same race as you, it would instantly divulge in just, a civil war basically. So we don't have racism towards one another in direct interactions. Like there is a genuine understanding of one another, fortunately. Your hair suits you as is. No need to dye. Oh, thank you, Salt Department. You're too kind. So loving. Oh, Aiden is here. Thank you for joining us. Second breakfast. Second breakfast. Yes. You've got crazy bubble energy. Bubbly energy, baby. You can compete with with my Puerto Rican wife. Thank you for giving me pro tips, a specific kick. Maybe I need to go to Puerto Rico to find myself a divine feminine. Unfortunately, extremely incompatible with the general archetype of what a female is expected to be in this country. Or maybe I'm just a loser. I'm gonna spend some more time single. I'm going on year 3 of being single. Year 4? Well, technically, December right now is year 3. So I'm starting year 4 of being single. I'm gonna keep hoying, dude. Maybe Puerto Rico will have it. Like me and Christian likes to joke and say that maybe they would be more open, when it comes to topics, for example, women in the Netherlands or somewhere in Europe. But now I know, maybe Puerto Rico as well. Bubbly energy, dude, all the way. Yes, I'm so down. For another coaching call, I'm guessing. I'm so out of the loop. Where is Melt right now? I'm at Johan's place right now, actually. Thank you for joining us, Aiden. It's nice to have you here, man. Oh, what is your definition of smart? And how does one become smart if they are not? My definition of smart is awareness. Yeah, and then the expression of that awareness, or the intelligence within that awareness, would be being able to articulate that awareness in a way that shows what that awareness has brought you, Like it's one thing to watch a movie, but if you're not watching a movie with a sense of awareness, then you can miss things. You can miss the entire story. You can miss the entire point of the show if you don't have that awareness. So I consider genuine intelligence that awareness, and that awareness is present pretty much everywhere. As soon as that awareness is accepted slash taken into a personal existence, it becomes a way of living. And a way to become more smart is to focus on your breath. It sounds kind of counterintuitive. It's like, oh, you get smarter by focusing on your breath. No, you get smarter by becoming more aware. And focusing on your breath allows you more awareness. Focus on the things you're seeing. Realize that you're seeing things. Don't take it for granted. Focus on your hearing. Focus on the way you feel, where you're sitting, what the cloth on your body is feeling like right now, what the pressure of your feet on the ground or your buttocks on your chair is feeling right now. We have these infinitely vast scopes of experience onto us, like directly here with us at all times, but we scale down our awareness to kind of mediate slash modulate this experience. And as a result of that tuning down of awareness, we tune out of resonance with people that we might love. Instead of being aware of this person, aware of this person's feelings, of the body language, of the things they're saying, the things they want from us, we dumb down our awareness to the point where we cannot see them crying for help. And yeah, like that's my definition of smart. And the way to get smarter would just to focus on your awareness, to make yourself more aware. Specific kick. I hope that helps. I feel it might not just be, it is, but it might not just be hippie mumbo jumbo. What's the kindest thing? That's the kindest thing I've ever heard. Your brother and reaching and accepting my heart. I love you so much, Heather. Like, these are the type of experiences we're allowed to have, and we don't, because of this fear of our fear of being vulnerable with one another. Jojo sounds like a cult scenario. Melt low. Shut the fuck up. It's insane. Oh, please, dude. It's insane. I do not have, I have a lot of EQ. I have a lot of emotional ability to spend time with other beings. I cannot be a cult leader. I would die. I would die before. I understand. I understand the Kool-Aid thing. Of course you want to die. You would lose your mind like that. No, none of that. No. Hello again, hello firefighter. Sorry for being so hectic with our subject matter. It's nice to have you here. In the states of Washington and Oregon, in the United States, JoJo is a potato wedge you buy from a deli. The more you know, Salt Department. The EG82, it's DJ! And there it is. Good morning, my essay brethren. Good morning, DJ. It's nice to have you here, man. Man, I was wearing your scarf yesterday. If only you tuned in on the day I was wearing yours as well. I've been appreciating it so much, brother. How have you been? How's your wife and kids been? It's so nice to have you here. Senseian is one of the most overtly honest people I know. Intelligent and entertaining as well. Much respect. Ooh, beautifully put. Beautifully put, Heather. Woo! Okay, I'm gonna take that as a message to put the joint down. I give my apologies. I didn't know it went that deep. I will cover your nape of your neck and help you up from your knees according to... Thank you for being in it with me, my friend. We can be extremely extra. Have been very busy with a new job, large company. I hope you've been very, very well, my friend. TJ, I'm doing well, my friend. I'm growing, I'm present as much as I can be. I'm trying to keep myself aware. And I'm happy. I'm happy to be here with you. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I'm happy to hear that you're working at a bigger company. Like it sounds good for me. Yeah, you're not a loser. Thank you, Specific Cake. I'm just being playful. A little bit of self-deprecation sprinkled in to make myself humble, Okay, no. Sit down, sprinkle some salt on the snail. Get to an emergency again. See you later. Be safe. Yeah, I got to go, I guess. Have a good one, hello, firefighter. Thank you for being our hero, my friend. I was single for 4.5 years, yes. Met someone. Should have stayed single. Oh, don't give me anti-hope, Heather. I'm already anti-hope enough, I'm like, there's, there's no one. There's no one here right now that's going to be able to do what it is I think needs to get done. The thing is, you either have to have a partner that is 100% supportive of you or not one at all. There should be no in between. There should be no compromise. There should be no, okay, I don't like this, but just to have a warm body with me, I'm going to go through this. No, absolutely not. And I've had to make that decision, and I'm gonna stay with it, Heather, for as long as I need to. Thank you for giving me some more anti-hope, but I feel it's more a propping up of yes, standaarden. Keep your standards. Puerto Rico is all about party, dance, music, and fried food. If you like the above, I mean, I'm down for the previous ones. Party, dance, and music. The fried food in moderation, sure, absolutely. Sorry, honesty, I feel it. I always forget to add context, so you know what I'm talking about. But you're really good at guessing right. Thank you, it's insane. Even if I don't guess right, like good stuff. Anyway, it's still a co-creation. It's just a different part of the fractal being expressed. I try to, like I have somewhat of a linear understanding of the things I've said and the things I'm choosing to say, and the things I've said influence the things I'm choosing to continue to say as well. Oh, oh. Okay. Come meet me in Puerto Rico this December, and I will celebrate Christmas with you. Specific. That's such a generous invitation. Thank you so much. I already have plans. I'm going to be spending Christmas with my family as well. Thank you so much for inviting me, though. Oh, this is a deep confessional channel. It is. We share everything and anything that we're willing to share, my friend. Even nothing, if you choose to as well. We just get to spend some time, have a space, and share whatever we want to in this place. Okay, my phonetics are bad. It is Narain. You've been pronouncing it Naren. You've been pronouncing it right. But I have always felt I am more feminine than my peers, although I never spoke about it. Hearing about it from you in these streams lately is nice. So Narain, I'm guessing I'm saying it correctly then. I appreciate you being willing to say that to me as well, my friend. These things can be difficult to admit to ourselves sometimes, or to, in your words, to talk to our peers about. Because especially the weird thing about having thoughts like that is if you have thoughts like that and you share those thoughts with someone who hasn't had thoughts like that, you are instantly perceived as other, or like your experience is so foreign that the relation gets lost. And in that way, it can be very devastating to share these things. I'm so happy that you feel comfortable too in this space, Narain. Like genuinely, you're so loved, my friend. Nobody can make you happy. You have to make you happy. Happiness is made from within. External forces are temporary. They are. And temporal is the word you used. Everywhere you go, there you are. Everywhere you go, there you are. You cannot extract happiness from anything if you're not willing to extract happiness from yourself through the medium of everything. Yes, tuning out that awareness. We tune out self-love, self-acceptance as well. Zooming out and becoming aware has personally pulled me out of some dark places. Whew, you bring, that to my awareness helps me pull myself out of that dark place as well. Thank you so much, Jovan. It really is that way. It's, man, like you mentioning the fact that you forget that awareness of self-love, of self-acceptance, that like really hit me as well. You're so right. Mm. Aiden says, I have a date for hitting the road now, by the way, July 9th, 2022. I'm gonna buy the van soon. Aiden, dude, yes, bro, you have to flex. Man, I'm gonna come through, live in that van with you, dude. You're like, don't threaten me with a good time, he says. If anyone from the US wants a visitor, let me know. There we go. I mean, Uncle Becky, howdy brother, here he is right now, is definitely gonna be willing to take you up on that offer. Can I buy your shirt? I love that shirt. Specific kick, thank you. Out of all the shirts I have, I think this is my favorite. So it's ironic that you say you like this one. And I specifically chose to wear this shirt today. I was looking at all my shirts and I was like, which one has the energy? Which one has the intention, the will to be worn? And this was the one that I chose. And now you joining us, I think for the first time, like this shirt enough to want to buy it. Maybe one day you can buy it. You know, I want to wear these shirts until I can't anymore. You know, either I get so buff that I need to buy new clothing, which isn't that unrealistic, or I wear them until they fall off of my body. Choices. Or the third option, I start wearing clothing I've made myself. Yeah, there's a range of possibilities. So you have to stay around. Keep going for every specific kick. Maybe one day. Hooks. I'll stay holding on ferociously. Whenever this guy smokes weed, he's chatty and introspective. Whenever I smoke weed, I stare at a wall of silence. Then I get up and I clean the kitchen OCD style at 2 a.m. in the morning after the munchies. Salt apartment. Little did you know. I do the exact same things. I'm a little bit neurotic. Wee bit. You might have noticed, just a little bit neurotic. So instead of, getting up and cleaning the kitchen OCD style, I do that with thought processes. I'm like, oh, look at this thought. Now I'm going to proceed to polish it. Goes about polishing it for a few seconds. It's like, okay, thought looks pretty polished. And then I turn the thing around and I'm like, meet this other side of this thing that I didn't know that I could know. And you told me to turn it around. I'm like, oh, neat. Polishes it again. Picks up something else. And we keep going, Technically, it's the same OCD style of kitchen cleaning, but we can do it with our words as well. I'm a visual thinker. I want to say fortunately sometimes, but it can also make it difficult to convey an understanding of something sometimes. We'll be driving across the ocean to see you melt. I'm still working out the kinks in that plan though. Now I'm imagining the most ridiculous scenario of these floating roads, that literally, maybe not, it doesn't even have to be floating technically. Technically it can be, what's the word I'm looking for? Revolving. It revolves forward into the water, creating a road in front of you for which you to drive on. Yes. If we can see it in our heads, we can hold it in our hands if we try really hard, ain't it? I mean, it's not practical, unfortunately. Like, what is it going to run on? What is it going to fuel it? Is it going to use solar? It's not going to be enough surface area to power something that big. You're going to go so slow. No, we stop. Okay, stop. See. You need a different strain of weed. Some weed will awaken your mind. I mean, I don't like it can be that way. You are right. Specific kick. Try and find a heavy THC strain, for example, Salt Apartment. I've smoked like 20 strains. All of them do that to you. And do you spend time with people when you try that? And is it, synonymous, if you will? Do you stare off in the distance? Can you not have a conversation at all? Avemi, au revoir to you. Thank you for joining us, my friend. How are you doing? Sativas either give me anxiety or I OCD clean. Indigas put me on the couch. I feel it's all us, dude. It's all us. If we want to be in the couch, put ourselves in the couch. Like the whole Meltmore name is to me in a way putting yourself in the couch. Like literally relaxing to the point where you don't have an ounce of tension inside of your system as well, and you just become, part of it, one with it, if you will. It's an experience, and you can do that. I can do that smoking the exact same joint just as much as I can do what we're doing right now, smoking this exact same joint. I mean, we're smoking the freedom joint. I don't know if we've talked too much about freedom. Maybe we've talked about things that societal rules might not necessarily consider things worth talking about, and in that way, we've been free. You can legit just show up in America anytime, ST, and I will drag you about America with me. Hey, don't you threaten me with a good time. Like I'm genuinely planning to. Like that's like 100% on my, I want to say, agenda, if you will. I need to get there. I need to reach some sort of level of financial security before I can think into doing that. I went with yellow and black today. Yellow and black. What a combination that is as well. Yellow to me signifies, this solar energy, this will, this power, this intention to bring light into an experience or into your body. And black is like the opposite of that, this contrast to that. I'm curious, is it a t-shirt, Uncle Becky? Thank you for sharing with me as well. Are you talking about the clothing you're choosing to wear? I might be missing a beat. Some more success had more success with psychedelics. I trip 2 times a year. That sounds good. Very healthy. Salt department. What do you choose to trip on? If you do, Mush or Lucy. And if you're doing twice a year, what dosage do you prefer to go for? Do you go for heroic doses? I feel, spending that much time apart from your experiences is very healthy as well. You give yourself more than enough time to actually integrate. I think the ideal ratio is like 4 times a year to do it seasonally, or at least with the intention slash ritual around doing it seasonally, to be in tune with Mother Earth and to go through these motions with her. At least that's what I think can be a very healthy way to do it as well. Like, what do you have any rituals that you follow for your experiences? If you're willing to share, we'd be more than willing to listen. Maybe you need to stop smoking then. Let your brain receptors regrow and strengthen. You may have smoked too much. That might be it as well. Like, are you smoking regularly, Kick? Or Salt? I'm currently on a tea break, so I'm hoping to you so as well. Like I spent the entire October going through a tea break as well, and it was very beautiful. It was actually an amazing experience. The third week was very difficult, but I feel it was difficult because of a lot of issues I was dealing with internally as well. But after that, it was an amazing experience again. I've smoked weed on and off for 2 years now. When did you start and how did you start, Salt? You live on an amazing continent. You don't need to travel around the ocean to experience an experience. Yeah, I experience experiences actively, fortunately. Specific, I want to experience experiences with other beings. That's my motive to travel to America. Not so much to be in America, but to meet the people, the friends I've made in America, to actually have one-on-one conversations, experiences, share a joint together, share a conversation, drink a coffee, whatever, just have a one-on-one as well. LSD and mush, I mix, I forget the dose. Okay, at least, if it's like a twice a year thing, that sounds good as well. Oh, good morning. I'm not praising Satan today. I'm mad at him. Has Satan been a little bit spicy? Who would have known? Who would have guessed that Satan might be a little bit spicy? I'm sorry to hear that. The Hill. I hope you rekindle your love in your relationship. Man, my dad would hate me so much right now. Me and him had this conversation about what I'm doing right now. And he asked me, like, why should I allow you to use my Wi-Fi to do these streams when I don't agree with you or with the message you share? And my answer to that is because we help one another. No matter how you slice it, I have within myself an understanding, and from you, friends, physical evidence that this is an experience that can help us, help us grow collectively. And as a result of that, that is the reason I believe we should continue doing this. So then having saying something like, I hope you rekindle your relationship with Satan to son built by the hill. Like we're saying this playfully, but my dad will lose his mind. No room for being playful about stuff like that. I genuinely believe that Satan, this devil character, this evil, it's a part of ourselves that we wanted to separate ourselves so badly from, that we created this entity, the devil. And it's this aversion slash unwillingness to accept that we have darkness as human beings within inside of ourselves, but we also have the ability to transcend that darkness. But in order to actually really try and transcend that darkness, you have to accept that it's a part of you. If it's something external trying to influence you, then you have this cop out answer to why you do things. Oh, it wasn't me, it was the devil. Oh, he was whispering in my ear to do this thing. No. It's you. It's part of you. It's part of all of us. Some of us choose to do things that others don't choose to do, and as a result of that, we experience things that others don't get to experience or do get to experience. It's your choice. It's your choice. You're the devil and the angel, my friends. You're all of it. I do it around New Year's and then during the summer because it's a 14-hour deal. Yeah, I don't have time for more frequent trips. Now, I feel that's very healthy, my friend. I'm not saying, you have to implement my understanding of it either. I'm just sharing back with you so we can both grow with our experience. I've always wanted to do a deep psychedelic peyote trip in the desert, reenact fear and loathing, but I need a companion in case the bats attacks the certificate. That sounds like a trip and a half, man. I do it to learn and to see what emotions and thoughts I first think of, to go through the mess slow. That's beautiful, Salt. That's the way it's supposed to be as well. Because we don't allow ourselves, we get so busy, we get so entrenched in our day-to-day realities that we don't allow ourselves to actually do that properly. And so the fact that you actually take some time and do that is wonderful. And because one day you'll be old and you'll need my help, Dad. Oh, that's true as well. It feels right, Jovan. We are born into darkness. You are correct. Light comes from above. It comes from above, but it comes from within, my friend. It's this channeling, if you will. Sure, it can come from above, but it has to come within, flow through you, and be given back to this world in a constant flow. All people are like wrinkly little kids sometimes. Especially my grandma, dude. Before she passed, she had extreme Alzheimer's, and she completely reverted to a childlike state, a cursing childlike state. Again, we're born with a blank slate. It can be that way. I believe, even though we're born with a blank slate when it comes to our ego, we do have a personality, a biological personality. Aren't we born with aren't we born with a blank slate? Old people look in the mirror and are wondering why the 20-year-old version isn't staring back at them. Please do. Salt, my brain does not handle being melted that much right now. They're salty. Experience and time. Some people mature and grow, some stay stagnant. Hopefully you grow. Hopefully we all do. Salt, I do believe we are. We're going to continue. I'm salty. It's so cool, dude. I prefer salty over sweet or bitter. There we go. I mean, when it comes to snacks, me too. Me too. Can't win everyone. That's true. Salty and sweet are a great combo. You friends, and this experience that we get to have together is the true great combo. I appreciate you friends so much. I cannot even begin to explain how much. If you were born blank, then how do children understand stealing cookies is wrong and do this without trouble? As I said, I believe we all have the ability to know. We have this, I believe, an intrinsic personality to us, and our existence is modulated through that personality as well. They only understand this through observation or lecturing. Can be that way. Or it's Satan telling them to eat those cookies. Lurb, yes. I love you, friends, so much. Thank you for sharing the space with me. I'll see you again tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, friends. Oh.